Good day everyone, I am Nuzarin Nubibat and I will be discussing about the Muslims' contribution to national struggle, specifically the continuation of what have been presented by the previous reporter that talks about the early stages of the war initiated by the Spaniards against the Moro people for the reason of colonization in Mindanao or the southern part of the Philippines. Allow me to present the outline of my topics that includes first, the decline of sultanates where the power of the Sulu Sultanate and Mindanao have fallen out. Second is the sixth stage of the Moro War where the Spaniards have extended their invasion in Sulu in the year 1851. Third is the fragmentation in Mindanao where due to certain reasons, which I am going to tell later on, when the independent ethnic groups started to rise, specifically the Maranao and Iranun. Fourth is the Moro-American War, where after the Spaniards fought the Moro people, Americans continued the colonization. Next is the Battle of Budaho in year 1906, where the Tausug are the ones who pushed resistance to US forces. Later on is the occurrence of the end of organized resistance of the said independent ethnic groups, in which started when they fall in the Battle of Budbagsak in year 1913. Lastly is the shift to peaceful resistance, where the end of armed conflict happened, as well as the final stand of Laksamana Usab, the appointed runner of the Sultan Sulu. Decline of the Sultanates. The Spanish foresaw the eventual conquest of Mindanao and Sulu. On the succeeding stage of Spanish colonization, the Spaniards improved their forces in colonizing the south by introducing the improvement in their naval forces, as they use now the steamboat, which you can see in the picture, that obviously can give them the advantage of moving their forces efficiently and become more impactful as they can now bring more forces to fight the more people in which they have foreseen the major invasion. The sixth stage of the Moro War is the Spaniards' dream of Mindanao conquest. It commenced with 1851 Spanish invasion of Sulu and ended towards the end of the Spanish rule in the Philippines. As a matter of strategy, the Sulu Sultanate under the Sultan Pulalun, upon realizing the invulnerability of Spanish forces, negotiated a peace treaty with the enemy. The treaty was signed in April 30, 1851. But just like other treaties in the past, this treaty failed to hold peace for long. The Spaniards had already calculated that the sultanates of Mindanao and Sulu were weak to resist the Spanish conquest. During this time as well, the Chinese capitalist from Manila was able to raise 20 million pesos to support Spanish colonization in the south. The Spaniards then sent or organized 9,000 troops led by Governor General Jose Mel Campo and sent to Sulu accompanied with hundreds of priests and sisters. They have secured 11 transports, 11 gunboats, and 10 steamboats. They landed at Hulo in February 21 in 1876. Aware of the Spaniards' grand design, the Sulu Sultan Hamalul Azam assembled his military leaders for discussion on how to contain if not frustrate the Spanish invasion. The Sultan proclaimed the jihad and ordered the use of a concept of parang sibil as last resource. The wise plan of the Sultan was proven correct and effective. The Sultanate managed to negotiate another treaty in July 22 in 1978, which thus saved its people from further destruction. Now, for the fragmentation in Mindanao, at the Mindanao front, the Spaniards were already successful in destroying the power of the Mindanao Sultanate. The Maranao, Iranun, and other ethnic groups began to wield their respective powers independently. These people launched their own war separately. They parted ways from each other to the extent that the Maranao put up their own sultanate since the Maguindanao Sultanate could no longer exercise a central rule over Mindanao. For centuries, these Maranao people were overshadowed by the Maguindanao. They fought wars against Spain under the flag of Maguindanao Sultanate, or sometimes under the Sulu Sultanate, as in the case of the Iranun. One of the best wars led by the Maranao was the heroic stand of Dato Amay Pakpak in defense of Marawi in 1891 and 1895. Generally, All Muslim ethnic groups in Mindanao and Sulu supported the war against colonialism. There were people behind the survival of two sultanates of Sulu and Maguindanao in the face of foreign aggression. So after the fragmentation in Mindanao, the Americans came in and continued the colonization in Mindanao. The Moro War did not end actually in the destruction of Spanish colonialism in the Philippines. The Spaniards left, but the American colonial forces came in and continued the same colonial goals under the pretext of civilizing the natives. Since the orientation of the Moro War is the same as of the Spanish time, the Moro-American War should be viewed as a seventh stage of the Moro War. In Sulu, despite the declining power of the Sulu Sultanate, the Tausug, who opposed the continued presence of the another white colonists, waged a series of battles against the Americans. Panglima Imam Asan, who held the post of district commander from Laok, Sulu, under the Sulu Sultanate, was the first Tausug leader to defy the Sultan's order to work with the Americans for common good. He could not be convinced with the overall mission of the colonialism of the US in the country. As an imam, Panglima Hassan looked at the presence of US forces, a threat to Islam in the Muslim community. He instead proceeded with his military plan leading his 3,000 warriors, who fought the American forces in Holo in early November 1903. Armed only with Chris and some rifles, these Tausug warriors attacked the enemy's garrison, which was equipped with modern weapons. After a week of siege, the enemy were finally able to break their lines and force the Panglima's followers to withdraw. But despite this defeat, Hassan's military action won sympathy from the masses. He toured the island of Sulu promoting his cause, inspiring the local leaders to resist in US colonialism. Within a short period of Hassan's propaganda, it bore a positive impact upon the Muslim masses. The Americans were portrayed as the enemies of Islam, that they came to the Muslim land in order to continue the unfinished goal of the Spanish colonialism. More so, the Muslims became apprehensive when the US forces hoisted their flag in major centers and further required the Muslims to fly the US flag in their ships. At the same time, the Muslims and these policies invited antagonism from the people. In January 1906, three prominent Tausug leaders took a bold opposition to the American policies and the occupation of the Muslim land. These were Imam Sahirun, Maas Abdul Latif, and Panglima Sawadajan. These leaders assembled their 1,000 followers and put up their camp at Budahu, and 6 kilometers away from Hulusulu. From here, a small group was organized and sent to raid military outposts and villages that tended to support the enemy. The Americans became apprehensive that the growing opposition to the Tausug might go out of hand. At first, they sent civilian negotiators to convince the defiant leaders to surrender to the US colonial government. The negotiators attempted several times to convey the message to the Americas officials, but the defying leaders stood firmly with their stand of non-recognition of the US colonial government. The Americans therefore decided to take Budahu by force. So, from this reason, it is where the Americans have decided to fully deploy their forces to colonize the area of Sulu. On March 6, 1906, General Leonard Wood, the governor of the Moro province, ordered the assault of Budahu. His forces were composed of 790 men and divided into three groups. Each group was charged to attack from only three narrow passages, leading to the camp of the Muslims. Using high-powered guns, the US Army stormed the Muslim strongholds with mortar throughout the afternoon and gradually took a closer move in the evening. The Muslims, armed only with Christ, used an indigenous approach of warfare. So due to reasons of disadvantage in the weapons, the Moro forces decided to use logs as a form of defending their land to the colonizers. From the Muslim accounts, a great number of US forces were killed as the logs fell down one after the other from the mountain tops. The US Army, however, succeeded in getting to the mountain top in the early morning of March 7, 1906. The US Army fired upon the Muslim camps at close range, and the Muslims rushed and fought decisively in the open field. Only six of five managed to retreat and report the news of what transpired in the so-called Battle of Budahot. As you can see in the picture, it was shown on how impactful the forces of the colonizers during this time. It was also a famous massacre event during this time. The end of organized resistance. The spirit of war never subsided. It continued to unleash nationalistic fervor until another major battle erupted, the Battle of Budbagsak in 1913. Budbagsak is a medium-sized mountain and located about 50 kilometers east of Holo. This battle was led by Panglima Amil, the leader of the 500 forces that hold up at the Budbagsak. The war was begun in June 9 and ended in June 14, 1913. All Muslim warriors met their martyrdom in a 5-day battle against the well-equipped US Army. Their defeat marked the end of organized Muslim resistance during the first 10 years of the US colonialism in the Philippines. The so-called episode of the Chris versus Krug came virtually to an end. There are a few more minor battles, but never again did the Moros place a formidable force in the field against the Americans. The Muslims fought a grand fight at Bubagsak against the superior weapons. After they had ended the organized resistance, they then shifted to the peaceful resistance, where the end of armed confrontation begins. This decline paved the way for the signing of Kiram-Carpenter Agreement in August 20, 1915. By this agreement, the Sultan relinquished all political power over territory within the Philippines, except for the certain specific land granted to the Sultan Hamalud Khurram in his heirs. With the religious authority as head of Islam in Sulu, however, the United States-based government refused to intervene in the North Borneo's dispute, officially maintaining a neutral stance on the matter and continuing to recognize Sabah as part of Malaysia. The collapse of the Sulu Sultanate in turn led to the integration of Mindanao and Sulu into the colonial politics. Since then, the opposition of the Muslims in Mindanao shifted from armed confrontation to peaceful movement, in the form of protest and demonstration. It took about 14 years for the Tausug fighters, led by Laksamana Usab, to carry out armed fighting when they fought the US Army at Budlok Langkuasan adjacent to Budbagsak in 1927. Usab was appointed Laksamana, or in Sulu, they call it runner, by the Sulu Sultan. He parted ways with the Sultan because he did not want the US policy in the Muslim land. He took over the leadership for fighting the US colonialism. He called a summit meeting for Tausug leaders at Dikop Indanan, Sulu, in early 1927. In the meetings, all leaders agreed to contribute fighters who come from different parts of Sulu in silence. Usab's struggle culminated with the Battle of Badlong Kuasan, where most of his forces, including himself, embraced martyrdom. So, despite the opposition of, of Usab, it was all ended in the martyrdom of his forces, and of course, his as well. That ended the colonization of the Americans in the Moros region.